Donald Trump may have finally caught a break in this Jeffrey Epstein release of files story. And weirdly, it comes in the form of a Wall Street Journal piece that details a letter that Trump sent to Epstein on Epstein's 50th birthday in 2003 that is at least a little bit suggestive. But I'm going to explain to you why I think it might actually be a good thing for Trump. So the Wall Street Journal, around 7 o'clock on Thursday night, reported a story about the relationship between Epstein and Trump, which we know they know each other. We, in fact, know that Trump had been on Epstein's plane. Now, the times he'd been on Epstein's plane were with his young daughter at the time, Tiffany, and his young son at the time, Eric. So at least that we know of. But this went into a little bit more detail about their relationship. The biggest talker out of it is that Trump in 2003 wrote a letter, allegedly, to Epstein that ended this way. "A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." Now, Trump says he didn't write it. He says that the bawdy drawing, which is allegedly of a naked lady, that accompanied the letter, he didn't draw, and he's never drawn anything in his life, which seems odd, but okay. Let me explain why I think this is actually a good thing for Trump. Because it unites, I think, a split MAGA base. There is nothing that unites the Make America Great Again movement more than quote unquote fake news or the mainstream media being out to get Donald Trump. That is the role that he is seizing on right now. Role of victim, role of target. He has said, he has denied everything in the story. He has said on Truth Social, he is going to sue the Wall Street Journal. Now, again, he says he's going to sue everyone, but anyway, we know he tried to get the Wall Street Journal editor-in-chief woman named Emma Tucker not to run the story. Trump says he talked to Rupert Murdoch, the owner of the Wall Street Journal, about not running the story. So all of this is to say that rather than talking today about the split within the MAGA base, which still does exist as it relates to Epstein, we're talking primarily about this story and Donald Trump's attacks on it. And from what I have seen, the response among the influencer Make America Great Again crowd to this story is Donald Trump is being unfairly targeted, not release the Epstein files. And that is a good thing for Donald Trump. Anytime Donald Trump can play the victim is a good thing for him. Anytime Donald Trump can portray himself as being unfairly targeted by the media is a good thing for him. Now, I will note, the Wall Street Journal, as I said, is owned by Rupert Murdoch, not exactly like a flaming liberal. So, you know, and the Wall Street Journal did amazing work as it related to Joe Biden and his cognitive decline that the Biden campaign attacked them for. So, look, I think the Wall Street Journal is an incredibly credible publication. I think what they reported about Trump in this letter is almost certainly true. I have no reason to believe it's not. I'm sure they vetted it. But I just think the impact of it, right? What's in the story almost doesn't matter because the impact of it will be for the base of the Republican Party, the MAGA base, to rally, I think, behind Trump for being unfairly targeted. It's a different conversation than why is Donald Trump not releasing the Epstein files. One quick word on that. So Trump said that on Thursday night, after the Wall Street Journal story came out, that he had directed Pam Bondi to release all grand jury testimony related to Epstein. That's a little bit of a red herring in that there's not going to be a lot there. They're not releasing the evidence that the grand jury saw. They're not releasing all the Epstein files. This is not even a half measure, a quarter measure in terms of transparency. But that is being overshadowed today by this Wall Street Journal story. And I actually think, I know, politics is sometimes weird, up is down. I actually think that's probably a good thing for Donald Trump. I don't think it means that we're not going to talk about the release of the Epstein files again. I think we will. But for a guy who's basically struggled for almost 2 weeks to find some kind of footing to defend himself and rally his base behind him on this story, this might be it. As always, I ask you to do one thing. Just hit that subscribe button. It's easy. and you get a ton of free content, and you help me build my career as an independent news creator. All right, everyone. Happy Friday. Take care.